You're watching Signature TV, and it's all about Valentine's throughout the broadcast today. So we'll be talking to several resource persons that we think will bring you some interesting value as it relates to the topic on the front burner today. Dr. Patundu is a counselor and a broadcaster. She will speak a little more about the St. Valentine's Day. She's all reddish, by the way. Good to see you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Charles.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, but you're not dressed in the colors of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, because I don't feel reddish today. So
Why?
because I mean it's just another day. I
So
mean,
what happens to your significant others if we can't see it on you? It
well-
means you're not celebrating St. Valentine's Day.
well, I believe in the action much more than what people wear.
Nah, all of them matter. You know, whether you like it or not, packaging sometimes is everything. If I don't see the packaging,
Yeah,
I will not bother to go into the pack.
interesting. Because that's also one of the interesting topics. Because again, you could package and then not be the real thing. People
I
just
agree with you.
go around packaging themselves and
But
showcasing
packaging
themselves.
sells.
It sells, but then how sustainable can that be?
For as long as you want to sustain it.
You keep packaging even when it's
You
false,
keep changing
false
the
packaging.
wrap, change the wrap. Today you put a green wrap, the next day you put a red, the next day white. So, but there's something about the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things that your eyes will see,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to see the next level. I
Absolutely.
think that's most of what we see, because half the time there is no seeing what is on the inside. Though.
Right.
Never mind what people tell you. They want to go out with you for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
In 10 years, you can be going out with somebody and you still don't know the person.
Absolutely.
So the real unpacking, the real unbundling comes when people share the same space.
Mm.
You will not know that somebody snores, for instance, walking down the road with him.
Mm-hmm.
You will not know that they don't care too much about the environment. You know, they get everything, they drop it on the floor. And if you're a clean buff like me, that can be upsetting.
Obsessing. Yeah.
I pick up after you the first time.
Mm.
You do the subsequent ones. There will come a time I'll just look the other way
Mm.
and let you do what. Because if you want to go and follow up, it might lead to an argument.
Absolutely.
So packaging to an extent is everything. It's so much, not that it's everything. But I would like to see, yeah, they say don't judge a book by the cover. But let me see the cover first. let the cover interest me first.
Absolutely.
Before we start looking at what is inside the cover.
Does it differ for some other persons? Say, for instance, the male folk, because I've also heard that what attracts women in their spouses is different from what attracts men in their spouses. So the man will say, not necessarily what I see, but what she's about. The woman will say, well, give me that flashy things to attract me first, just like you've mentioned. And then at the end of the day, it's really it's not
No,
compatible.
it doesn't go for everybody though, because I like people who are deep.
Hmm.
I don't like people who are dumb. Let me put it that way, because you can get my attention
Mm-hmm.
by portraying something that has depth. But if it's just fine boy, no pimple, no money, I don't need it. So, but let me see the stuff you're made of.
Hmm.
From the gist I have with you, you can know where people are headed. Because essentially what you need from the beginning is the template for that person for next level.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's somebody who is living in the sky, living in the dream, oh, a car goes by, oh, that's my dream car. How are you going to get that dream car? He drives, you know, from in front of a house. Oh, this house is so beautiful. That's my dream house. How do you live that dream? You're not going to live the dream by just verbalizing it. It doesn't
Absolutely.
work like that. So a lot of times we're looking for men who have visions of where they're headed. That's what they don't like. It's not every woman that is thrilled by, you know, the fancy things. That what is wrong with your hands?
Hmm.
You can make your own money. I've always believed that I can make my own money. And I've never needed the money from anybody to survive. From the onset, you're in the same class with these guys. And they are going to marry women like you someday and take care of them the much they can. And you are there folding your hands and all you want to do is to look beautiful, you want to, how do I put it now? You want the guy to bring the car, bring the house, bring the harbor now. It's not fair. Bible says you're a helper.
Mm-hmm.
How do you help somebody and all you want to do is to cut their 2 limbs?
Well, by helping, most women would say that taking care of the kids is also helping. So
The man should also be part of taking care of the kids.
more like bathing the kids, taking them to school,
Everyday
those
things.
things.
It's not
So
a
is
big
it not
deal.
part of the taking? I mean, being helping hand for the man.
Well, it is part of it, but it's not the total picture. It's not the full picture. There are also things you can do. You don't bring a shopping list all the time.
Hmm.
There are things you can pick up without running it by the guy. In fact, growing up, my mother used to say it to my hearing. My daughter, do not ever be found in a position where you're asking your husband to give you money for sanitary towel.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was as I got older that I understood it. Sanitary towel is the least and the smallest of the needs that you have. So do not be so broke that you're relying on the man to bring money for sanitary towel. Some even go to the man, you may go can go tapad. Are you for real? So that
Yeah.
is the problem we have. The men and women have their different roles, but at the end of the day, there's a meeting point.
Do you think all love relationships are conditional?
What do you mean by conditional? It shouldn't be.
Love is not conditional?
It shouldn't be. What condition? What the Bible advocates is unconditional. Unconditional is, but it doesn't mean people exploit you.
Yes, that's okay, fine. We're discussing it.
Yes,
because
people
again,
exploit you. When you give them unconditional love, they think you're going to take crap. But there comes a time that you draw the line. But from the beginning, spell out your non-negotiables. Spell out the things that you cannot deal with, so that the person knows ahead of time. It's not like you're just saying it to them, no. So, but half of what we see that people do not define the boundaries. And so people are going to be jumping all around that boundary. So if you define the boundaries from the onset, the guy or the girl understands that this is where we are. And these are the things I don't need to do. Love should be unconditional.
I mean,
So I'll love you if your legs are there, and I'll love you less if you lose your limbs. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, many people will say, look, conditionality could be anything. The conditionality for you could be at least have a roof over your head, have a car, and have a means of taking care of me. The other person will say your conditionality is at least have something to do. I mean, they're all conditions. I can't just see you and then say, well, I like you for what you are, just come around. But you should have some conditionality.
I love
and everything is conditional. I mean, even
you
in
may
that.
not call it conditions, because the Bible even says a man who cannot take care of his household is worse than an infidel. So the Bible has already told you that before you get to that level, a whole lot of things about you must be in place towards your ability to take care of a household. You cannot be in your parents' house and you go and bring somebody's daughter and bring her into the household, taking instructions from everybody. That was not what she bargained for. So it's going to be a disaster from the onset. But if you as a man, you're getting ready for that level, we're not talking about a house in Lekki, no. Even if it's a one-room self-con, I beg, have your own place. Let the girl come in and have her own cooking space. Let the girl come in and be the one that will open the door to guests. Let her come in and see that this is my space. Take care of the space. Not come, in the past, in the olden days, they will marry a woman, bring her to the village to spend like a month or two. And all you do, early in the morning, you get up and start sweeping the entire compound. But it ends there. It ends after that 1 or 2 months visit. By the time you come in, kakaraka, they are calling for people to sweep. You look at them and say, there are younger people in this premises, call them to go and do the sweeping. And besides, at that point, there may be other things. You might be pregnant, you might be this, that. So and you can be cooking, you cannot be expected to go and be doing that. So that is a problem we have. Define your deal breakers, define the non-negotiables from the onset. And the moment you see red flags, when somebody shows you who they are, please believe them.
Mm.
That's one of the things we don't pay attention to. A girl comes in, you see certain things you want to manage. Please don't manage. If you watch out and you see that red flag once, twice, thrice, that's who she is.
Mm.
If you cannot live with it, that's the time to run. Same thing goes with the girl. If a guy shows you who they really are, the first time you see the red flag, second time red flag, it can even start with something as simple as poor anger management. He flips the first time and tells you, sorry, it's a mistake, I'll never do it again. And he does it again and again. What business do you have trusting a man with that kind of problem? He needs to be in therapy. If you loved him, send him to go and see a therapist. That's where you start the loving. And when the therapist says it's good to go, okay.
How can you tell somebody's exploiting the love you have for them?
A whole lot of times people take advantage of the love. It's a natural thing.
Natural.
It's very natural. People take advantage of you at all levels. They see that you're kind, they want to exploit it. They see that this is what you like to do, they want to exploit it. They see that you're kind and generous, they exploit it. You see people coming to send you all kinds of texts. Because somebody has said, yeah, Dr. Onu is very kind. Then people are sending all kinds of requests to you. That is a human thing. People exploit the things about you that make you you, and they say she doesn't know how to say no.
Mm.
They exploit it big time, but you're the one that also will draw the line and still put the boundaries in place.
Right. I know this is universal, but sometimes it differs from persons to persons because times have changed. In the past, you hear things like, you know what, I need to have the kind of person's God-fearing. You know, the list goes on. It should be tall. It should be dark. It should, you know, have a balance in their accounts, blah, blah, blah. But these days, what should be the characteristics, the enduring characteristics of finding love?
That's the key word, the enduring characteristics. That he's cute, that he's handsome, that can change in a minute.
Mm.
One little health mishap, you look at his face and it has been disfigured. That he has tons of money in his accounts. One little bad investment. You will know the times we invested in MMM. Okay. So many people got impoverished by all those Ponzi schemes. All the money. I know somebody who put his money, terminal benefits, so from work that he did for over 30 years. He was looking to doubling and quadrupling it. Put it in MMM. He got returns the first time, reinvested all. Before he could say jack, everything was gone. He was even so foolish that he even sold property.
Wow.
To invest in that fake thing. And he took all. So if your whole idea was, okay, I see a lot of money in his account, it can go in a moment. But there are things, there are virtues that you should look out for. You should look out for a man or woman who is kind. You look out for somebody who is generous. Generosity doesn't mean that you give you more than what the world can give you, but somebody who is willing to give you even out of nothing. He's able to say, my wife, you need this, take it. You're telling him, okay, why don't you? He say, no, I can do without. That's giving the way Christ knows giving. He says unconditionally. And he's not giving you because he's expecting you to give back. You know, this is more like, I'm giving you this, my expectation is that you give it back to me with interest. When you're doing that, that's a big problem. And then you must look out for somebody who is prepared for tomorrow, who is not looking at waiting for his parents to die to inherit so that both of you can live well. That's sad. So you must look at a man who believes in himself, who has who knows where he's headed? Otherwise, there will be a shipwreck. Who is not looking at, okay, Chukwu has made it, why wouldn't I make it? By the time they're saying, this is what I want to do, you can already, because the instinct of a woman is intuitive. By the time you're saying A to a woman, she has seen you from a distance and is already assessing you from a distance. So if they say they don't know, not lie, they know. So those are the things, you look at the things that will endure. Character will endure. Principles will endure. Somebody will not come and be lying to you about basic things, and you think that will end back. Because let me tell you, one of my non-negotiables is dishonesty. Even if I catch you in the act, don't say it's not what you think. What the hell am I thinking? I am seeing what I'm seeing, and somebody is saying to me, Nne, it's not what you think. Mba, I will feel better if you say, I made a mistake. Can you please forgive me? It has become a weakness. If it is a praying woman like me, you say, Nne, why don't you pray for me, fast for me? Tell me the day you're fasting so that I can join in the fast. Genuine repentance. And you make an effort not to go down there again. So those are the things you look at. I never looked at any man's, whether you have account or you don't have account. It's not my problem. Because my hands are not on vacation, I can make money. I was in a class I was the only girl in my class in the university. What he meant is that every other guy there will struggle, make money, and keep a woman in the house. And me, only me, I cannot go and make resources that can take care of me and some things in the family happen now. So those are the things I look at. But deal breaker, non-negotiable, dishonesty.
Yeah, but again, there are people who also say that these things can be faked. The virtue you spoke about, somebody can fake the fact that they are honest about their lifestyle, they are honest about what they tell you. How do you detect somebody who is dishonest? How do you also detect somebody who is low in virtue? And how do you also detect how somebody, I mean, in another 2-3 years, for instance, if you meet somebody today and they are all that you wanted, maybe not all, maybe 60, 80%, you accept the person. But over the years, you see that that thing that that attracted you to them deteriorates. You no longer see them. And probably you're not, because of that, those things have become a condition to continue the love. How do you detect somebody who is a fake person, who wants to do those things to attract you? Because, I mean, we have them so much out there.
The average woman is wired to be a KGB agent and CIA combined. You cannot fool them except they choose to be fooled.
Oh, really?
We have a way of finding and looking at and seeing and uncovering the things that are meant to be hidden. Trust me. I am a CIA agent undercover. And there are, you know, you people think you're smart. The guys think they're smart. You miss a step and she gets there. Under the step, she will uncover it and plenty things are there. The problem is, what do you want to do with what you have uncovered? Is it something you want to put up with? Can you put up with it for 1 year, 2 years? If you cannot put up with it at all, you find a way to get him to know that you know that this is what it is. And that based on that, it may not be a good thing to continue. And that's the time to pull out. You don't pull out, you know, just by seeing one error, but you pull out when there are multiple errors in quick succession. You look at him, today he tells you one thing, forgotten he has told you that one story, and gives you another version of the same story. Women, that's a red light. And even in traffic, they say once you see a red light, stop. It's not amber, it's red light. So that is what happens. It's not like, you're not God, but I can tell you for free. Women are wired to be KGB and CIA agents. Except you don't want to use the skill, that's your headache. But I am one. If you like, go and hide it wherever you hide it, I'll find it. And when I find it, the next thing I do is to look out for a way to get you to know that I know. And you know, when somebody is confronting you with facts that you're not prepared for, you don't have a cover-up. You're uncovered already. So don't go and start, no, it's not what you're saying. What do I think? What I want is the truth. And the other thing is, when you find the truth, can you handle it? That is the major problem a lot of people have. You're looking for the truth. When you eventually find the truth, can you handle it? Is it something you're going to live with? Is it something you're going to say, okay, let me manage? There's nothing to manage. Whatever you say manage is for life. Because the oath you're taking when you're getting married is till death. Except you want to truncate the man's life so that the death will part both of you in time so that you can live your life. But it wouldn't make sense. You're committing murder. So it is till eternity. So is it something you can live with temporarily or in the long run? If it's not, back out.
Does it mean that divorce should be on the table all the time?
Divorce should be on the table if your life is threatened. I am a deep-seated and core Catholic. We don't advocate divorce. Before the marriage.
It has to be a life-threatening issue before that happens?
That's the way
Some people say, well, as a spelt, you use the Bible before. Infidelity. I mean, sometimes we say infidelity not necessarily.
In this climate. Charles, infidelity in this environment
what do you mean
where polygamy is allowed and is have infidelity. In fact, if you go to your munna and say you want to leave your husband because of infidelity, they will tell you to sit down first. No, when you first one is Siamba. In the past, your grandfather has married plural wives. Or because now, only if they leave this man just for you, you go finish him. That's what you begin to hear. But when it is a woman stepping out, it's criminal.
What?
Yes. They criminalize a woman stepping out.
Because of infidelity?
Yes. They criminalize it.
Is that the...
They will even tell you to go and take oath before a shrine. Go and swear that you didn't do this or that. Some people even make you take an oath before they marry.
That works.
I know certain areas, even in Enugu State here, you will not even know. There is something they will drop on the ground the day you're coming in. If you cross it, they won't even tell you. If you go outside your marital vows, wait till you go see, no be your mouth go fit talk am. And so when that thing begins to happen, they now come and question you. You stepped out of your marital vows. Who was that and why? Of course, you're in trouble, so you confess.
I mean, now you start drawing the line between the Bible and tradition. I mean, there's so much we talk about these issues because they have different wings. At what point do you now drop the Bible? Because the Bible says... if
I will not drop the Bible.
So when you have a tradition that says even with infidelity you should stick around, what happens?
I don't... See, the reality is, like I told you, they have so ridiculed infidelity that if you bring it to your people, because your people are the first point of call when you're getting married. They will collect bride price, they will collect the drinks, they will collect everything. So you take it to them. Because is there any other thing that this young man is doing? And you say no. Does he beat you? No. Does he provide for you? Yes. And just that occasionally he goes to grab something outside. I beg, my daughter, calm down. That over time he will get tired. In fact, even if he doesn't get tired, over time biology will stop himself. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I find it very difficult to even understand the aspects of these because it becomes unequal. It means you are asking somebody to compromise to that point, but then again, when it's the other way around, the other person doesn't compromise.
That's who we are. But you see, if you go up in the north, nobody talks about infidelity.
It's a totally different environment.
Nobody talks about infidelity because even the religion allows them to marry 4 women. But it has a caveat. As long as you will love them equally.
Well.
And treat them fairly. How many people can love 4 women equally? It's not possible.
It's not.
So more or less, the guy is saying, don't do it. But the only thing they see first is you can marry 4 women. That's the one they run with. They don't see the other part that says, as long as you love them and treat them equally. So where we are now, a woman will not bring out my husband is cheating as a reason for wanting to leave. Let me explain it to you. But she can bring out he is verbally and physically abusive. He beats me all the time. Can you see some of the marks on my body? And if the man is not careful, they will gather some young people to tie him to the stakes and flog him very well. And then release him to go and do some kind of penance. If they think that he will vow that he will never touch you again, they release you. Other than that, you're back to your people. But you say he slept out. Abba. Some of them don't even come home. I had an uncle that had a girlfriend next to her compound in the village. And the woman kept complaining. He said, why are you bothering my life? My father tried to step in. And he said, nobody should joke with that woman. But don't get there. And everybody backed off. We see him every evening. Like if you come to the village. If you're looking for him, you look for him in his baby's house. Agadio, both of them old elderly people. But if you come in there by chance, they are good friends. You know, part of the problem that women have, they don't know where to draw the line. You're always coming around with shopping lists. Baby Oku does not give them shopping lists. Baby Oku has a way of getting what she wants. She may first of all even do the spending, cook the meal, and in appreciation, the money that he would have given you a fraction of, he gives the baby many times over and doesn't feel it. So that's the thing. But infidelity, I don't think it will fly.
In today's climes.
It will not fly. But if the infidelity means that your family is being neglected, he's not paying fees, he's not paying the bills, and he's taking care of the madam outside, maybe people will begin to look at that.
Oh, you have to provide the proof for that, because again,
but you can provide the proof. If you pay fees, if you pay rent, you can go and collect the receipt from your landlord. Absolutely. There is proof.
All right. Dr. Patton, it's always a delight speaking with you. I mean,